World War II remains one of the most devastating conflicts in human history. Over 70 million people died, and the world was forever changed by its aftermath. Let's take a closer look at Germany's perspective, how they got involved, and what it felt like living through such turbulent times. And let's be honest, some parts of the story are just downright absurd. The year is 1919. The Great War has just ended, and the Treaty of Versailles has just been signed. Germany is not having a good day. Picture this. You're already struggling with the aftermath of World War I. Your economy is wrecked. The streets are filled with people trying to make sense of it all. Then, this new treaty gets shoved in your face, and it's not a gift certificate for a free pizza. It's a hefty bill for war reparations, territorial losses, and military restrictions. Not exactly the kind of pick-me-up you'd hope for after a devastating defeat, right? Germany was forced to take full responsibility for the war. Now that's a lot to swallow. Imagine someone blaming you for a car crash you didn't cause, but they still make you pay for the damage. And bonus round, you can't even drive anymore. Well, welcome to post-Versailles Germany. And to add salt to the wound, Germany lost some major territories, like the Saarland and the Polish corridor, along with all its colonies. You can see why the Germans weren't in the mood to make new friends. But wait, there's more. They couldn't even have a big army anymore, limiting their army to just 100,000 men. Fast forward to the 1930s, enter Adolf Hitler, a man who took the mustache game to a new height. And by heights, I mean tiny oddly shaped ones. He had some big ideas about fixing things, and when things are broken, some people just can't resist putting them back together in their own image. Hitler started with speeches that were as inspiring as they were terrifying.
Meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe.
He claimed that he had the solution to our problem. Blame the Jews, blame the communists, and blame anyone who did not fit his version of a perfect Germany. His goals were to undo the Treaty of Versailles, expand Germany's territory, and establish a Third Reich. And yes, that mustache didn't make him less terrifying. Somehow, it made him even scarier. With promises to restore Germany's former glory and power, Hitler gained popularity quickly. His Nazi party used propaganda as their secret weapon, painting a picture of Germany's greatness while conveniently ignoring reality. Hitler wasn't just out to fix things, but to reshape everything. Also, fun fact, Hitler originally wanted to be an artist, but was eventually rejected from the school, and it might have just been their biggest mistake doing so. In 1936, Hitler took the first of many bold moves, remilitarizing the Rhineland, a region that was supposed to stay demilitarized as per the Treaty of Versailles. Germany was like, hey, we're gonna take back what's ours, no big deal. But other countries, especially France, were watching closely. And what did France do when the Nazis marched in? Well, nothing. Both France and Britain were too busy playing the don't rock the boat game called appeasement, and it went a little something like this. Hitler would say, "Give me that thing," and the Allies would say, "No, you can't have that thing." "Okay, fine, but that's it." "Give me that thing," and so on. Spoiler alert, Hitler did not stop. He took this moment to test how far he could push things. Appeasement wasn't going to work because when you let someone eat your lunch and you don't say anything, Eventually, they'll eat your entire fridge. By the late 1930s, Hitler was making friends, Italy and Japan. Italy under Mussolini was all about fascism, and both leaders shared many of the same goals. Japan, meanwhile, has its sight on dominating Asia. Together, they formed the Axis power, sharing enemies and goals, like world domination and making everyone else's life absolutely miserable. In 1938, Hitler demanded the Sudetenland, a region in Czechoslovakia filled with ethnic Germans. Neville Chamberlain, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, flew to Munich to meet with Hitler. As a result, they handed over the Sudetenland to avoid war, and asked Hitler to sign a piece of paper saying that he wouldn't invade the rest of Czechoslovakia. Chamberlain famously declared, "Peace of our time." Another spoiler alert, that peace lasted about as long as a snowman in the desert, and Hitler was off to invade the rest of Czechoslovakia. It is now 1939. Germany had invaded Poland. Britain and France had warned him that an invasion of Poland would mean war, and Hitler was initially planning to advance eastward but didn't want to end up fighting war on two fronts. So, Hitler made an alliance with Stalin saying, "Why don't we both invade Poland and split it between the two of us, and I definitely will not try to not betray you or invade you in the future." Okay? Poland fell, as they were no match for the two countries team up together. On the 3rd of September 1939, Britain and France declared war on Germany. The phony war came, and it was a period where everyone pretty much just sat around doing nothing. Then, in 1940, it all went downhill for France. Germany launched an invasion of France through the Ardennes forest, a place most people thought was impenetrable. As the Germans advanced, they sent thousands of refugees westward, slowing down the Allies, and in just 6 weeks, Germany had taken Paris and France fell. Hitler had hoped for Britain to surrender and sue for peace, but they didn't. However, despite this, the British didn't seem like a real threat for now. In 1941, Hitler made a fatal mistake by invading the Soviet Union, sending 3 million troops, the largest ground invasion in history. Operation Barbarossa stretched Germany's resources thin, and as the winter set in, the German army, unprepared for the harsh conditions, found itself stuck. The tide of the war began to turn, and things also weren't looking too good for Hitler elsewhere. As the war dragged on, the Allies closed in on both sides, and things started to fall apart for Germany. And in 1945, Hitler found himself holed up in his Berlin bunker. His dream of a Nazi empire rumbled, and in his final moments, he took his own life. The war may have ended, but the consequences of Germany's actions in World War II would echo through history, from the rise of totalitarian regimes to the complex web of alliances. This conflict reshaped not only borders but also societies. And as we look back, we must ask ourselves how the geography, ideology, and leadership influenced the course of this war. And more importantly, how can we ensure that history does not repeat itself?